Welcome to this video. Today it's yet another student interview, and again with Philippa. I think we talked like 6 months ago.
Yeah, in March, I think.
In March.
Yeah.
And now it's August, and the last time you were just visiting Dubai,
Yeah.
but now you've officially moved.
Yes, I have.
Nice. How's it been?
Very nice. And I also remember that it was one of the goals I mentioned in the last videos that was moving here this year. So it's kind of surreal finally being here and living here now, having my business here. So that's it's very, very nice.
It's very well done. I think a lot of stuff happened in just like the last 6 months here.
Yeah.
I think the title of the last interview was like you making $3,700 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So can you tell us a little bit about how it's going now?
Yes. So right now I'm doing about $20,000 a month with my agency, and it has basically just been scaling ever since we had the last interview. Doing the same stuff, just working even harder, even more, taking in more clients, delivering better results. And then I just think that it compounded over a long time, because back then I also worked very hard, but then it just compounded after I also, realized some new things, prioritized some new things, and then it just been very good after that.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like it's a very good growth.
Yeah.
Going from 4K to 20K in about 6 months is very, very impressive, of course. What do you think has been like the one thing that got you from like 4K to 20K?
Focus and priorities, I would say. Because I'm not doing like different work now from what I did back then. I'm just doing it better. I'm doing more, and I'm doing it more focused. And of course also prioritizing who I want to work with and what I prioritize helping clients with, for example. But also, within my own business, I now prioritize, having a better team and also making sure that they're happy and being very good, like a good leader for them. That's also something that I know that they respect a lot and they are very happy with. So that's something I've been prioritizing a lot the past 3 months, because the more I can, the more team members I can have, the more work I can also take in, deliver better things, because we're more people working more hours. So I would say that that's also something that has really changed it for me.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's also very cool, the transition going from like just you and then like getting a team, because then it feels like a real business. Because there's like people you have to pay and people depending on you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that also puts a lot of pressure on you and your input, because now it's not just you. Exactly. And when you mention team, how many people do you have on your team?
We're 5 people now.
5 people.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What do they do?
I have a full time, and then I have editors, and then I have appointment setters. So they're basically just helping me get more clients, communicating with clients, making sure that the clients are happy, making sure that they are getting the things on the deadlines and they're happy with it, and then just managing everything. I think I can't be everywhere all the time, so having people that can help me with that, and people that enjoy it as well, because they feel like they are evolving also within their own business but also within my agency. That's really something that I find is very valuable for both me and them.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good team structure as well. Right? Like you have people taking care of tasks that is not like worth it for your time, because it's kind of like your agency, your brand. So like you still do the sales and client communication, like take care of that kind of like front end stuff. And then you have people taking care of client acquisition, editing, managing. It's very cool.
Exactly.
I think very fast paced start, like 20K employees, Dubai. I think to the people that don't know like Philippa, like what is it that you do actually in your business?
Yes, okay. So I find it actually pretty difficult every time people ask me that question. But just basically what I do in my agency, that I help my clients, help them with client acquisition, the customer journeys, help them get more clients themselves without them having to use more time on it necessarily. They're perhaps not really good at doing content, getting in new clients, how to communicate with potential clients and get their messaging out there and what they actually do. Maybe it's also sometimes structuring the things that they are offering. They're finding it hard as well. And then just managing everything, it can be very hard when they have a bigger business and a lot of clients as well. And then I always say to them that they shouldn't focus on chasing new clients. They should focus on having or like serving the ones they have already. So that's what I help them with.
Very nice. And a typical client for you would be a coach, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like a person that makes a living from selling their expertise through one-on-one coaching, video course, group coaching, community, whatever. Like someone that is really, really good at what they do, but they have just like no clue on how to get clients and content and appointment setting and sales and these kind of things. And then you kind of come into the picture and then you take care of everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. And I think one of the, like when we talked back 6 months ago, I believe that you were only like offering content and like a little bit of consulting and these kind of things. And I know that you now like offer appointment setting and like guaranteeing the meetings and growth, etc. How has that like changed your relationship, but also like the clients you work with and just overall the business?
So I still have actually the same clients as I have back then when we spoke first time. And I've just been offering them different things. I still offer the content part, but again, they can do that themselves. It's not like a crazy thing to offer. So we do basically all of the time-consuming tasks for them as well. So which is appointment setting, for example, or some we also do closing for, so they're not on sales calls themselves. So that's something that I found is not only valuable for me, but also for them, because I feel like the bigger package you offer them, the more they also trust you and they're committed to you as well, because you are basically having a foot within their business. 100%. So you're having an important thing to say, and they're listening way more to you, and you get a very good relationship with your clients. Like I have clients where I'm like I'm friends with them now, which is I think a really nice thing, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah, and those are like the best clients.
Yeah,
because they will keep you around forever. Because if they get rid of you, they basically get rid of all new money and clients coming in from their business, because you take care of everything.
Yeah.
If you were only providing help within content, then it would be super easy for them to find a cheaper editor or a cheaper copywriter or someone part-time that could just like take care of content. Exactly. But now if they remove you, they remove like the entire acquisition process.
Exactly.
What would you say has been the hardest, like going from like only offering 1 or 2 services to going like full stack?
Figuring out how to manage everything. Yeah. I think in the beginning when I started offering more than content, I was so confused about what to do, how to implement the things, who to trust and who you could put workload on without them backing out, because I did that, and then I had team members backing out and be like, this is too much, and then it was on me because I've promised it to the clients. So I think just managing everything and making sure that it works also, because in the beginning I was so frustrated when it worked so good for one client, but another one it didn't work as good for them. But I also think it has a lot to do with a lot of different things. So managing everything and looking at also their foundation before implementing a lot of things has helped me as well, just on the performance.
That's cool, because it is also a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, because it's such a complex thing to like build an entire customer journey, especially when the foundations and the offer from the client side is not really there.
Yeah.
I think it's good that you take care of that first, like build a good foundation, and then you like add the traffic mechanisms, you add the nurturing, you add the conversion, and then obviously it performs if it's built the right way, right?
Yeah, and I also think that some of the things that helped me a lot is that when I got a new client and I onboarded a new client, then I helped them restructure their offers. Yeah. Change the pricing, maybe tweak the offers a bit. So I also have a part in what is being sold, because if they're having like an offer that is completely off and not really aligns with the things that I sell, then or like I help them with, then it's also hard for me to guarantee results. So that's why I think that has helped me a lot, also changing up their foundation a bit when I come in and help them.
And it's a very underrated part of your agency service, because when you get on board as an agency, you feel like you just want to like help them and you don't want to like get involved with their offer and what they're coaching on and these kind of things, because you just like assume that they know it. But at the end of the day, you need to come in and then like do it right away. It's not like super valuable, it takes a lot of time, but like you need to do it because it's like the foundation for everything else that you'll do, because you can have the best marketing and the best content, the best appointments and the best sales team, but if the offer is outdated or it's priced in a wrong way in terms of the market perception and positioning, then the rest of what you're doing is literally useless,
Yeah. And also finding out, maybe that's what has helped me a lot, that finding out where the chain possibly could break before coming in and helping, because if you're not solving it before you're starting the relationship with the client, then you're just gonna have to do it later on, and it's gonna be even harder to fix.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's like very cool to have like followed your journey, because a lot of people, they like offer one thing and then they kind of like master it and then they never really move on from it. Of course, it's fine if you want to run an agency with like one service that you've mastered and it's more a little bit streamlined.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to be more involved in businesses, take revenue shares, have bigger retainers, you just need to like find something, deliver it, find the bottlenecks and like which kind of like team can do this and which numbers are we looking at and turnaround time and these kind of things, master it and then add another thing just like you did with content, master that, get the team, get the structure in place, then appointment setting, then tweak the sales process, then consult and offer.
Exactly.
And I think it's very cool. And now 20K moved, like what are the next steps for you?
Right now I'm also having 3 clients, or I would say that I coach, which I really enjoy. I think it's really, really nice also inspiring them with what I've went through myself with my entire journey and when I started out, because again I knew absolutely nothing when I started out. So I also think that a lot of people think it's nice seeing me, not like anything crazy, and then I could do it, then they could do it themselves. And it's not because I help them with like anything crazy, it's just pointing them in the right direction. And that's really something that I get genuinely so happy when I see them succeed as well and they get results, because it is only through me helping them. It's not because I implement anything for them or any systems or anything. It's just through one-on-one speaking with them every other week, an hour, and then taking them through what I did and helping them with the same things, giving them the same outreach methods as I used. And I think that's really something that I enjoy a lot.
That's cool. So getting into coaching and like transforming everything you've done and then like giving it to people. Yeah. I think it's cool. And I also know that it's not something that you've like promoted a ton or done anything with.
No.
Like how did you get started with it?
I got actually a lot of people reaching out to me, both from the last video we did together, but also through my content on my profile, or then I had from all of my other clients, I got some people reaching out to me that have heard good things about the agency, and then I basically just had a talk with them, found out what they needed help with, if it was systems or if it was like the things that I offer in my agency, or it was just like a point in the right direction. And usually speaking to them, they had an agency themselves. They weren't a coach, they just were like me, young, had an agency, haven't really seen results for a long time, and then they needed help with scaling, but also what to do, because what is common for a lot of them, or like I only have 3, but for all of them, they want to do so much, but then they end up doing absolutely nothing because they're unsure about what to actually do. So I think just helping them, telling them what I did is something that I know have helped them a lot. Yeah. And that's something I find really nice.
And I think it's very cool. And in somewhat, you also have kind of like an obligation to help people if that's what you're like interested in. Yeah. And I promise you, I've had 300 and you had 3. And it's always the uncertainty when you start out. And I think that is your biggest job as a coach. If I've learned one thing, is that you can have all the strategy and all the nice plans and roadmaps like attached. But the best coaches are just the people that are the best at mapping out the next 2 steps for their clients. Because then they're so certain on taking the next 2 steps. And then the cool thing about your offer is that you help people bi-weekly. So this means that you can just jump on a call with them, feedback the past 2 weeks, give them the 2 next steps for the next 2 weeks. And then it's literally inevitable that they won't see success. You know, like they will see success because it's literally just like step. And you walk the path. I walk the path. And so many other agency owners have walked the path. But it's so hard when you are starting out with like all the uncertainties, and then they listen to an interview with you and me, and then like, oh, Philip at 20K a month, or Frederik same like 250K peak month, you know, and then they get like so confused because there's like the gap is like this, you know, exactly. And they just have no idea. So like the best coach are the one that can like map it 2 steps at a time, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I can give them literally everything from when I started out to now, but they're gonna end up being lost even more than they were before. So I think what helped them a lot is just listening to what I did, not like over-informing them with a lot of different things, and then just pointing them one direction, and that's what they have to do. And that's 2 days after they text me and it's like, oh, it's working now.
It's working.
Yeah, so that's it's really nice.
That's good. And I know because I've talked to you that you've had a lot of people like DM you regarding the coaching and like what to do and these kind of things. And I know that you've kind of like also very like handpicked these 3 people. Yeah. Like what are the things that you look for in a person? Because you're very busy with the agency and you of course can't coach for free everyone in your DMs. Then you would not be sitting here because then you would be coaching,
Yeah.
Like what stood out to you with like the 3 people that you have now?
I think what I really enjoy working with is not necessarily the people that has the best running agency or is doing the most amount of money or having the most experience. I really look for the person and who they are, and sometimes also look for if I can see like traits in myself from when I started out, because then I know that I can help them. Yeah. So I really look at the person. I don't really care about their business side of things. Only the person, and then I always like figure out if I match with them or if I like speaking with them, because I have to speak with them one-on-one a lot. So that's also something I look for. And then they need to be very motivated, and I don't want to work with them if they have like a side thing going on or if it's like a side hustle that they're running their business. I want to make sure that they're doing it full time. All of my 3 clients that I coach is doing it full time. Nice. They're all in. They're working every single day from morning to evening, really hard. And I know they're working really hard, all of them. So that's really something that I enjoy, because then I can also give them a way better plan and a way better structure to follow.
100%. And I think also by being a bit more selective with the people you work with also will guarantee the clients that you work with better results, because as you said, they're committed, they have the time and energy and effort to put into it, and they're similar to you, like you know your personality traits, I know mine too. And in a model like an agency, where you're so much depending on yourself and your communication skills and your effort and just like your whole energy as a person, right? It's like so important, because you sell yourself first and then your vehicle, then your agency service. But if you can't even sell yourself first, then the agency service doesn't matter, And like to the people watching, what are some like traits or some skills that you should try to build if you want to get into like agency service, coaching, consulting?
So I would say for me also, when I started out, I did not care what came in my way. I knew I wanted to make it work. And then I gave myself a very realistic time frame. Yeah. I said 1 year, and then I just wanted to make back what I paid you in the beginning. I just wanted to get my return on investment. And if I could do that, then I was good, and then I could keep running my agency. Otherwise, I had to go back and either study or have a job, which I absolutely didn't want to do. Yeah. So I set myself, I would say, realistic time frame also, because there's nothing worse than getting on a call with one that wants coaching from you, and then they want to make 10K in 3 weeks.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So I think have realistic goals, realistic time frames for yourself, and then be willing to work really, really, really hard, and don't care what either what others say, but also what's coming in your way. Yeah.
So be realistic about your outcome and where you're going, and give it enough time so that you don't get caught up in a too short circle kind of like
because
goal,
you can always be surprised. I didn't think that I would be living here in September when I started out October last year, but I gave myself a realistic goal, and now I was very surprised that I was able to do this. So I think that's better. Yeah,
that's just how it goes. You set one goal and then you hit it, and then you become better and in the process, and then you keep on working, and you never get complacent, and then you set a new goal and then you work. So I think it's a good note with the goals, because also with like social media today, and there are like more and more people like you and I who coach and consult and also like have a brand built around our own business expertise. There are so many of those kind of people, and because there are so many trying to get the same attention from people watching, it gets like more and more extreme all the time. Like it went from go full-time on your business within a year, so like go full-time within 6 months, or make 10K within 6 months, or make 10K within 3 months. And it's just painting a very unrealistic picture of what can really happen. Like we've had students that makes 10K within 3 or 4 months, but it's not an example that would count for everyone. No. And it's just unfair to preach that to everyone.
And that's not what I wanted to do either when I started out. I literally just wanted to have something where I could earn a full-time income, which in Denmark is like around 2K. I think that's the usual one as a young person. So that's just what I wanted to do, and I gave myself a year for that. So I think also just don't expect that you can go out and get all these different things that you see online, because it is possible, but not in most scenarios. So also be very realistic, I would say.
100%. And it's not
don't
like
trust everything you see.
True. And it's not to like discourage people and say like you can't do it.
No.
But it's just, there's just a beautiful thing that happens when you like lower your expectations and you like accept within yourself that this is going to be very hard.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna set some goals, but I'm just gonna give myself a longer time frame and accept that it's gonna suck for a very long time.
Yes.
Because then you can only be positively like surprised, and then you don't like wake up every single day to like a defeat of like, fuck, I'm not at 5 or 6 or 10k yet. Whereas like you just build momentum, just like you, right? Yeah. Because if you would have told yourself I want to be at 20k within 6 months, and then you would have, I think after 6 months you were at like 5 or 6k.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you would have been disappointed because you wouldn't even have reached half your goal, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I also think that, you know, it's just a lot of people get really demotivated because they open up Instagram and the first thing they see is people being way better than you, making way more than you, way longer, and then that's basically just the 1% that you see. Yep. You don't see everything else that's behind. And you can also go on my Instagram and see that it looks a bit nice, but again, that's not the reality. I also work 12 hours a day. I've done that for the past couple months, so it's also, I think a lot of people get trapped in that and get very confused and don't know who they can trust and what's realistic or not. Yeah,
I agree. And it's, I think also you and I also have an obligation to like say the things that are actually true in this market, you know. And I think it's good that we can sit here and agree on these kind of things because you walked the path, I did the same. Yeah. And it's just nice that you actually have people telling you the truth because then it's more reliable, right?
Exactly.
And how do you like plan on doing your content and like your personal brand and like your messaging? How do you plan on doing that moving forward?
Well, very good question. I think being still very selective with the people that I work with, because I enjoy working with all the people that I work with, also my clients in my agency. I genuinely enjoy working with them because they're very similar to me as a person, and you spend a lot of time with them, so you have to make sure that they're nice as well. So I think being very selective with the people I work with, having a really specific messaging as well, because like I don't want to work with either clients or coaching clients where they think it's easy to achieve the goals that they set for themselves, because I was very motivated knowing that it was very hard and it was going to be very hard, because I knew in the beginning, but having someone that tells you it is actually going to be hard, it was just motivating me even more. So that's also something that I want to make sure that everyone I work with knows, that I don't sit here in 11 months after I started because it was easy. I sacrificed a lot of things, and like I'm 20 years old, lived with my parents 3 weeks ago, and now I live here, so it was not easy as well, but again, I sacrificed a lot of things, and I think people have to be willing to do that if they want to see results, because you can't just live the life you lived before and achieve new things if you don't sacrifice something or change your input.
100%. And I think it's also the main thing for you when you create the content that you do, right? Yeah. Because it's just so important that you just show who you are and your values, etc. Because basically you just need people to say yes 3 times before working with you. They have to say yes to you and then your method, so like your vehicle, and then your offer. Yeah. But the problem is that every single person that I see, they flip it around. Yeah. So they focus only on the offer first. Yeah. So it's like they sell people on a vehicle when they haven't even sold themselves first. Yeah. Whereas I think with you and your content, it's been good at like showcasing who Philip is and your story and your values, and selective with the people you work with. And you could have taken in like 5 or 6 or 7 more coaching clients, but they wouldn't be committed, or they wanted fast results, or they were just there for the money, or whatever it is, right? So like it's like you build that person that you want, that you are, that attracts a certain group of people, and then you have your method, right? Yeah. For you, it's an agency where you offer appointment setting, content, ads, like a full stack agency that can help coaches grow, right? Yeah. And then your offer, right? And you don't have to make like a crazy claim offer, because in reality, your offer now is really just you promising your time, right? You promise that you'll spend time with people every 2 weeks, you know, where you'll help them, guide them, plan out the roadmap, and then execute. Yeah. And I think that is one of the best ways to run a coaching business. Yeah. And especially when starting out, and it's a kind of a newer offer that you also run now. Yeah. Because that's what people want. Yeah. People don't want to talk to an appointment setter. People don't want to talk to a closer. People don't want to get coached by a head coach. You know, people want the person that they see, which is in your case you, and in my case me.
Yeah.
You know,
and I also think that that's what I feel like helped me a lot when I was on sales calls, because that was something I looked forward to every time I had a sales call or a discovery call or whatever it was, because I could feel that the people that I spoke to, they really appreciated that it was me that they spoke to, but they also knew that it was me sitting during the service delivery. I was also on the status calls with them, like my team members are as well, but I am there also. So I think they appreciate a lot that when they're purchasing a service, they're buying into you as a person, but they're also committing themselves with a lot of money and a financial commitment. So I also think it's important when you work with humans, which you do, it's very important that you're there as a person as well, and they can feel you, and you're not too like business minded. You also have to be human.
100%. And I think it's good that you just do that, right? Because a lot of people would say that it's unscalable, that you're so involved in all the sales and all the service and communication calls that you have with clients or your coaching clients, but it's literally the thing that will separate you from everyone else, you know.
And
it's also where you get the feedback.
I hear that,
it's also where you get the feedback. So if you are on client calls or coaching calls or whatever calls you're on, it's literally just all the objections and the problems that you know your clients face. You can just solve that in the back end, right?
Exactly.
So with the service or an SOP or a guide or a training, and then you can eliminate it, and that's how the best coaching programs are built. You know, it's like get feedback by actually talking to people, because it's like the best way, you know, and then fix it, and then just continue to do so, and then you're good.
And it's not nice. Like I don't enjoy sitting on all sales calls, and I don't enjoy sitting on all status calls. But that's just sometimes what you have to do, because I know that the client enjoys it, and that's at the end of the day the most important thing, because
they pay, you know.
They pay, and that's what keeps your business running. So I think it's not also to say if people think that, you know, I don't want to do it, it's not nice. No, I don't think it's nice either, but it's just sometimes that's what you have to do.
100%.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any like final tips or learnings that you want to like give to people before we wrap it up?
I think what I also see, like the main thing in my DMs when people text me is that they want results very fast, and they want very big results, and they're not willing to do hard work. Basically the 3 worst things you can do. So I think just sit down and ask yourself, what do you actually want to achieve? What makes you happy? Because what made me happy was knowing that I didn't have to go back to a job that I hated. So, you know, also make sure that your goal, I said this last time as well, make sure your goals rely on other people other than just yourself. And then have realistic time frames, realistic goals, and then be able to work so hard and don't care what other people think or say. And
I think it's good advice, and it's also summarizes the conversation pretty well. You know, it's like what you and I do is like nothing crazy. It's not that we have like a secret formula that we can like follow, that we won't give away. It's literally just like being consistent and doing the right things over and over again, and then just sticking to it and outlasting everyone else. And then at the end you just said that people should like try to not care so much about what other people think. How have you like tried to like train that muscle, and like how are you doing, like how are you overcoming things that are uncomfortable?
I think I've not done it in a very like efficient way, because it was uncomfortable as well for me in the beginning. I absolutely hated it, and I think it was the worst thing. But also what I tell also my appointment setters, but also the clients that I work with, coaching clients, you need to post content, or you need to do the uncomfortable things, because if not, you're not growing as a person, but you're not gonna see any further results, and you're gonna be stuck in your business or in your personal life or whatever it might be. So I don't think I really like overcome it at all. I just think I did it, and then I told my editor to post for me instead of doing it myself. Just like simple things where you remove yourself from the process, so making sure that just do it.
I agree. And I think for me, a main part about every single thing that I do that is like very uncomfortable, that can get people to think, so like run ads of yourself or post a content or share your opinion. I think it's like everything in business just a trade-off, you know, and I know exactly where I want to be and like where I'm going, and I know that always outweighs the fear of me of posting content, you know. So I know that the only way that I can get to where I want to be is if I post content and like do these uncomfortable things, and then it's like a weighing machine, you know. It's like a scale where I always do it because I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to put yourself out there if you don't have goals.
You know? Because then you don't know why you're doing it.
Then it's like, why would I put a video up on Instagram telling everyone that I make some money with my business and what I do when you don't know where you're going? Right? Then you feel no purpose and then you won't do it. Yeah,
exactly. And I also think that, you know, a lot of people that I speak to is like, I'm so afraid of what my friends think or my family or whatever it might be. But your friends or your family is not who's going to end up as your paying clients either way. So it doesn't matter what they think and it doesn't matter what they say or whatever it might be, because they're not the ones that is going to help your business scale or your business move. So I think it's just important to cut out their opinions and then just do it either way.
100%.
Because they're going to be in your DMs 6 months after and be like, oh, so proud of you.
So proud of you. How did you do it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine to be a little weird in the beginning, you know, and if it's the right friends and obviously your family will also support you no matter what, then they will support it.
Of course they will always. Always.
And you're not that, and like, let's be real. People don't really care about you.
They forget it 2 minutes after.
That they see the video and then they're like, oh, Philippe has posted something. That's kind of weird, but like I think it's cool, and then they move on with their life.
Yeah,
you know?
they do. They don't care. They are caught up in their own lives. So.
100%. So people you're not the main character. If you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They just posted. That's good. Yeah. What are the next goals? Like now it's August. Like, do you have any goals in mind for like the business or the coaching or anything you want to share?
I want to get more coaching clients because I really enjoy it. I think it's very nice, and then I want to see, you know, what the feedback is there because I haven't done it before. So I think it's also like I have a hard time setting goals for that. But I really wanna scale that, and then I wanna scale my agency even more, and then I just want to be a very, very nice and genuine person that leads my agency and is nice to my employees and the people that I work with. So I really want to scale the coaching part of the business. Also because, it's going to be, of course, more revenue, but I want to help more people as well. That's really something that I find valuable, helping them. I think that's the best part.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think you also unlocked the coaching card, you know, because like you've actually done it, the things that you teach. And I think that is the main thing for like getting into coaching is like you have now the resume. And you have like the little key card to like beep the door, and then it will open into the coaching world. So I think, and you're also doing it the right way, right? Because you're picking like selective few people, getting them results, getting feedback, then bringing on more people, and then you're just like, it's a loop, right? Same way that I did it, and it takes a bit more time than just like launching something and end up pushing it really hard. But it's the best way of doing it.
But I also think that, you know, it's not because that the coaching that I sell is like a cheap subscription, because I also want to make sure that people is committed and they're
100%.
Listening to the things that I'm telling them. Because if they're paying me $500 a month, then they're not necessarily listening to the things that I'm telling them, and you know, the things that I am guiding them towards. Because I also have, you know, ambitions for them, because they're like a little product of me, because I am using a lot of time and effort on helping them. So I also want to make sure that they're committed and they're wanting to listen to me as well.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's literally just one of the biggest misconceptions in the coaching field is that coaches, you know, they want to help people so much. So they're like, I'll do it very cheap because then I can help as many people as possible. And then you'll just sell something where the perceived value is extremely low because it's very cheap. People are paid a very little amount of money, which means that they're not committed, you know? Yeah. For example, I invested into a LinkedIn coach, and in my opinion, it's very cheap. And I haven't done anything for 2 weeks because it's like, I haven't paid enough money for it to like hurt that I'm not doing it. And it's like, oh, it's just like nice to have. I'll just look at it whenever I have time. Yeah. And that was also a big like thing for me where when I paid 30K for a coach, you know, I did it right away. I was like, for the calls and like everything, I was just like showed up, I did the work, and then it worked. Like surprisingly, I paid a guy who was where I wanted to be, and I did what he did, and I'm like, now I'm here, you know.
But that was the same in the beginning when I paid you guys, because for me that was a lot of money back then. It was literally, I was so committed. I tracked the weekly call thing, the one-on-one coaching thing, outreach thing every day. So I did everything, and I was like, if all of these other guys can do it, then I'm gonna do it as well. And then of course it worked because I did what you told me to do, and surprisingly it worked.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
I think that's a good note to end it on for people. It's like there's no magic formula. Find someone that is where you want to be, and then just follow them religiously. So if you've listened to this thingy and you think Felipe is cool, then you know Felipe is doing coaching.
Yeah.
So DM Felipe, for example.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
And it's so simple.
Yeah. Or just if you want like an advice or you have a question, like I'm happy to send you a voice message or whatever it might be. I do that often as well. If there's something that I can help with, gladly I'll use a couple minutes on doing that. So if you have any questions, you can also just text me and ask.
100%.
Yeah.
I would take you up on that if you watch it till the end. And DM Felipe.
Yes. Yeah.
Felipe, thank you so much. I think it's very, very cool how far you've come.
Yeah.
And now you're also living in Dubai.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do one more of these.
Yeah, we can do that.
When you've hit the next targets and next milestones, we'll keep people updated on the process.
No.
50k. Yeah. Now it's out there. When it's on the internet, you know, it's real.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Felipe's socials is linked down below.
Yeah.
Felipe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then we'll just maybe see people in the next one.
Yes.